What's up, Juventus? Welcome back to the AJ Sear channel dedicated to Juventus. The day after the 3-2 5-goal thriller. Hey, that prediction wheel got it right. Spot on our little YouTube short there. 3-2. Man, I'm still reeling from this one. Never in doubt though, right? Never in doubt. I tell you, everybody, that game fitting for Juve's season. Emotional roller coaster, up and down, an absolute yo-yo, and I'm looking forward to covering that and everything in the aftermath as we fast forward straight into silly season. And I can't wait to do that and cover it all today with Mas and Sev. Brothers, how you doing today? Mas, how's it going, brother?
If anyone expected that game to go to plan yesterday based on the season Juve's had, you got to give your head a shake because that's pretty much how it was supposed to play out.
I think that backline set the tone for what we were ready to expect. We were all talking about that one. So, Sev, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm struggling this morning, man. Whew. I was partying hard last night with a little friend.
Relief.
A little friend.
Relief party in there last night.
Wait. I got to figure this out. How do I do it?
Yeah, it's okay, Sev. We got a show to run here. We can't figure out how to get your camera
old man technology, man.
I don't even know what you're doing. Stop it, though. Stop
I have a great picture.
Yeah, well, it's not working great. There you go. Holy jitters.
You go.
Hey.
Me and Luca partying last night.
Nice.
Jesus, Michael J. Fox, take it easy there with the shakes. All right, now, okay, we got business to take care of, but yes,
can
great
we reel
picture,
it in? Let's reel it in here, boys. Come on.
Listen,
come on.
I think it set the tone with that lineup. We knew it would probably be a little bit shaky. You had Venezia fighting for their life too, so they had something to go for. I think the stadium was rocking for Venezia anyways, but it's a smaller stadium. We saw Gio in the watch along was talking like, what are we playing at a high school field with this Venezia field? But that's probably to our benefit because a packed raucous house would have probably made things a bit interesting, especially with that back line. We will talk about the starting lineup, but yeah, it was exactly as projected. A couple of the apps out there were actually showing Gatti to start, but neither he or Vega made that starting lineup. So it was exactly how it was projected with Di Gregorio, of course, in goal. You had Alberto, you had Kelly, and you had Savona. And then across the middle, you had Cambiaso, Locatelli, Thuram, of course, Nico Gonzalez. Up top, Chico, with Yildiz and Kolomuani. I had no problems with this other than just what the hell do you do with that back line if Vega or Gatti actually can't start, because you would want one of them at least in the heart, right? So we knew things were going to be a little bit interesting. Outside of that, though, with the lineup, I don't think anybody had any issues. These are the guys you're probably going to bank on and you're going to count on based on where we were, right? Right, fellas?
Yeah. I mean, besides, I think you guys said it in the pregame too, and we said it last week. We liked the 4-4-2 last week, but because of the availability of everybody, we had to go with 3. But other than that back line, I had no issue. None.
Yeah. And Mas, same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious as to how hurt Vega and Gatti were because, I mean, they couldn't start, right? I mean, if they were anywhere near healthy, I would have put those guys in over what we started instead. Obviously, Kelly didn't have a very strong game. We saw it. Savona struggled back there as well. So, but I guess Tudor knew what he was doing in terms of their fitness. Otherwise, I'm surprised McKennie didn't start just based on the fact that he was been in there all season long, right?
Yeah, and that was probably the call. It was like, man, he seems like for everyone that comes along, he's that guy that just gains that trust, and that said a lot too, I think.
Yeah.
But there was definitely a moment in time through this game where the shouts for Mac to get out there were there. And I think we'll talk about changes that were made and Tudor and whatnot, because it still plays into everybody's confidence level on him having the reins, right? So, and there's news on Tudor. obviously the coaching position. There's news on Giuntoli as I see it in the comments here. We'll get to all of that, okay? We are going to get into the game. First up, though, big shout out to all of you in the chat, the AJC Army. You guys were awesome. We had another deadly watch along, okay? This season has been a spectacular one. They just get better and better for us in terms of the growth, in terms of the reach, the support. So big thank you to all of you. All right, and I still see all the laughs in the chat there because we started a pretty hot start there with Sev there and the shakes there in the photos. So good stuff. But we love you guys. You guys are the best, second to none. And let's take a minute and drop those likes there, okay? And right on cue, DJ Cammy V, man, much love, brother. Look at this super chat donation here. Huge shout out to Berto and the AJC team. This was one of the toughest Juve seasons to watch as a fan, and you guys made it super enjoyable. Pumped I found your channel last summer. Keep up the great job. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much. Means a lot. And we talked about this quite a bit, that it's not always easy. If the team's winning, the team's rolling. I mean, I couldn't imagine running a channel and how easy it would be through a decade of dominance, right? But we came in on the back end of it, and yeah, I still see no signs of stopping no matter what. It's fino alla fine, right? So, and these moments, these seasons, they make the victorious ones that much sweeter, right? And hopefully it comes soon for all of us. Now, the game. Red hot start. Just not for Juve. Oh my God, you guys. A minute in. Holy. A minute in, Fila gets to... And he was actually given that backline fits. Until Vega stepped in second half, where he started to actually be able to match him physically. Between Savona and Kelly, it wasn't a match physically. Like, they could not stop him from just holding up the ball and allowing Venezia to move up the pitch. It was annoying. It was frustrating. But he gets to that. Okay, now my blood pressure's right up. Okay, 1-0 down that early? Holy. But it was like we expected. It was shaky. It was shaky at the back. And it was throughout that period. 20th minute. Started to get a little better. I mean, we did have an answer. Alberto, could we talk about the absolute rocket there? Unfortunately, hit his hand on the way down, but this kid, man, I lost my mind on that goal. Of course, to have it taken away, but the kid keeps showing us something. Unfortunately, gets a yellow in the 20th minute too, which you had to think was probably going to affect his playing time, especially as the game gone on and he was probably going to take a sub. But your thoughts on Alberto, that strike, and just his performance, like in general, Mas?
Oh, I mean, the goal speaks for itself. I mean, if it would have counted, you could have probably counted it as one of, if not the best goal of the season, one of the top three at least.
Yeah.
Bit hard done, but it just gently grazed his hand, right? So, I mean, what are you going to do? But in terms of the player, the last 3-4 games, there's a reason he's starting. He's obviously shown that there's something there. He's building confidence. He's a young guy, came to a new league, like I said last week, learning the system, all that stuff, new language. So, I mean, this is a guy that I think we need to build with next season. The talent is there. You can see it. So no issues.
Might be a nice little steal of a deal there, too, as he came in on a low-cost signing there. Sev, your thoughts on Alberto?
Yeah, I'll just piggyback off of Mas. Hard luck on the penalty, but a rocket. I thought at first the goalie was, like, close to it. Like, did it touch his hands? It might have touched his hands, too, going through, right?
I don't know. I gave him the preliminary day, the keeper, and he got hands on the 2 goals anyways. But yeah, I don't think he did.
Yeah, no,
I think that
like
thing
I
was
said
just a
last week,
lasered fucking straight in.
Totally. Sneaky signing. I said it last week. That might be a Giuntoli special for next year. Definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I'm looking forward to seeing him at the Club World Cup with Juve and see what he can do and keep growing there. So, unfortunate on the handball. Weak call, guys. We've seen those call. They got to get called. It is weak. It's unfortunate, but I mean, it is a call. It is a call. So we keep moving, though. Man, throw in from the side. Ball hits the boards. Cambiaso, money on the spot, all over it. Toss it into Keenan Yildiz. Keenan Yildiz does the rest. Radu gets a hand on it. It doesn't matter. We're back level. Okay. We can take it easy. We're back level. Okay. 1-1. Nice goal. Great work from Keenan Yildiz, man. I thought he was working hard. He was cooking. He was doing his thing this game. We'll talk about his performance on the backside of it. 6 minutes later, little bit of an error at the back. They make a mess of this one, Venezia, from a throw-in, and just the ball pops forward as they try to launch it forward. They mishit it. We're on it, creating some pressure. Alberto Costa's in the mix. It lands to Kolomuani, and that's a quick release on that shot from Kolomuani, because he literally takes it across the top of the 18, and it looks like he's still ready to take a few more steps, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's just flying towards goal. Radu, again, a hand on that one, as he did with Yildiz. Not enough to stop it. 2-1. Okay, we're back in front. All is well. But Kolomuani, I'm still on the fence with this guy, you guys, but this was a great goal, and we'll talk more about it after. 2-1 going into half. Guys, what did you want to see for changes? We did get one change immediately, and that was Alberto Costa coming out for Renato Vega. And Costa, of course, was on that yellow that he got in the 20th minute. That ref looked like he was maybe ready to give somebody some cards and start dishing them out. He carries like a 5.8 yellow per game average. He's ref 46 Serie A matches. I also said he's got like a 1 PK per 4 match type history, and lo and behold, we saw one. But obviously, I think we all agreed with that change. Alberto out on a yellow, the way that game was going.
Yeah,
You had to do
yellow,
it.
100%.
Yeah. And then getting Vega in, the way Fila was playing up top, we needed him to start to take over for us and get us that ball. And I did it. Any other changes besides that one you would have liked to see maybe at half?
Maybe Nico? Maybe.
Taking Nico out?
I don't know.
Getting Mac in there?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but I'm on the fence with it. It wasn't like it had to be.
Wasn't a big thing. I think that one was a good call by Tudor. He was pulling the strings properly, getting Vega in there. And, you kind of thought like with Vega and Gatti, he was going to get them in when he could for whatever amount of minutes that they felt they could give the team, right? And that's what he did. Second half, all right, we get out there, looked good. Vega was doing exactly what we needed him to do. We're kind of like, battling back at Fila, making it harder for him to give them that room. But they kind of changed the play, because in us doing that, especially after a little bit of a mishap 10 minutes in, we find ourselves level. That's disaster. Okay? And again, we're getting beat by balls direct. They started launching Route 1. They started running us, and they were finding space in behind us. Certain guys started to look tired, okay? And you start wondering, like, Tudor, maybe it's time to start pulling some strings. But you're 2-2, 60th minute, 65th. It's like, are we going to get some changes here? Like, what's going to go down here? 68th minute, you've got Venezia making 2 subs. But then Chico Conceição, who some were calling for a sub, saying, get him out of there. Worst player I've seen on the pitch out of the entire team. I remember all the comment. Everybody was saying this, talking like that around his performance. Draws the PK. Hans Nicolucci Caviglia. Still, uno di noi. Wants to see us in Champions League. Gets the leg in there. Draws contact, Chico Conceição. Tell me, who expected Luca to step up? I didn't. I probably thought Colo was going to take it.
Colo, yeah.
I thought 100%. Colo was going to take it. Mas, did you think Colo was taking it?
No, and I was nervous, man. Like I said in the green room, I think this was Luca's first PK since 2021 with Sassuolo, right?
Yeah. I was nervous on the watch. Like, I was shocked. I was like, holy, Luca's taking it. He's stepping up and taking it. Because I remember the one he missed for the Azzurri. And it's the last one in my mind that I'm like, oh. So I don't know. And then he just hasn't taken one in a long time. And I'm like, I don't know about this, but he steps up. Dude, he side foots that thing. Top bins. I'm just like, oh my God, man. Are you kidding me? Like, cool as ever. Cool as ever. Wow. Wow.
When I saw him open his foot, I got even more nervous.
I know. I saw him open right up, and I'm like, dude, you're telling the keeper exactly where you're going. Like, what side? Like, he just opened right up, like a few steps in. But, geez, it didn't even matter, man. He just popped that thing right up. And, again, I'll take the assist with the preliminary day on Radu because he just went low. Shoot. And that thing just sailed up. But the best part for me was just this. Full circle awesome. Moment, man. He booked it straight for the Tifosi, up those stairs and rocking it with them. And I said it on the watch along, and I go, this is insane because this guy was literally booed and jeered by our own fans in our own house. And for him to step up at that moment to do that and then go and do this guy has never shied away. Like, when all that happened, there's a lot of ways a player can react. All he did was take accountability and said, he never even addressed it. He's like, it is what it is. He goes, I need to do better. I'm focusing on myself, and I'm going to try to be the best version of myself for the team and for the best of Juve. This guy, man, I've always said he gets way too much hate, and a lot of it is unwarranted. But this moment made me so happy for him. This guy is captain material. That was a captain moment through and through, and he came out clutch. Mas, Sev, how fucking awesome was that moment? Come on.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that picture speaks for itself. I mean, my hope is now fans will see what this guy was made of all season long. He's been a player where fans have gone either way depending on his performance. If he has a good game, oh, he's amazing for us. If he has a weaker game, oh, this guy's trash. I mean, I've said it all along. He does things that aren't going to show up on a highlight reel, but the passion this guy has, he's captain material. It's in his blood. You saw that reaction yesterday. Even the one last week with that kid with the shaking of the head, his passion. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, rattle his brain.
Yeah. My hope is now that the supporters will cut him a bit of a break and see what kind of player he really is.
Yeah,
that's my hope.
Yeah, I hope that now it just opens up even more and that the sky's the limit for this guy and he could continue to see, like, from an all-time low, right? The sense of belief needs to be there now. He's done it. He's seen it. It's like, there you go, man. You can do this. Like, take it away from here. But Sev, how awesome is that moment for Luca, man?
I've been on that hill with you all year, Berto, and from the chat it looks like a lot of them have been. But I think the best part of what happened yesterday and what just like the way he's been, I think he needed that so much because now maybe we could see even more from him next year, right? Like the confidence level is going to be sky high with this guy for next season. Like that's a big matzo ball he's going to bring with him next year. Like positivity. Captain all year, basically, right? Motta screwed that up in the beginning of the season where he was just giving the captaincy to everybody. Yeah. But he stuck with it, and he's getting the credential now, right? So,
yeah,
super happy.
We got comments in here about booing him and people who booed him should be ashamed. And absolutely, I mean, 100%. There's players that I do not like that have been around Juve and whatnot, and I can never bring myself to actually do that. That's just a crazy level to get yourself to. But Luca, in my opinion, has never been one that should have deserved that. Okay. And I still see comments about, well, limited players still. Limited what? He is literally, the numbers are there. His performances are there for his role. It's fantastic. He's a solid player. I was pumped that he got that full circle moment, because this bodes well for Juve. And we need more guys to start answering the call. When you're talking about a team that needs experience, that lacks leadership, when the one guy that is wearing the armband can bring you a moment, can show that he can be that guy for you, that's good. We need to continue to groom that and nurture that and bring in more leaders to assist him as well. But that's a fantastic moment. As for the rest of the game after that, well, Jesus, man, sweat it out, gut it out right till the bitter end. That whistle, that final whistle felt like it was 2 hours after the Locatelli goal, okay? I was just done. I was spent. I had a match of my own to play like an hour and a bit after, a couple hours after, and I don't think I had anything left to give. I was just done after this game. But it's over, okay? It's over. We qualify. It's ugly, but man, it would have been a lot uglier without Champions League qualification. Okay? Celebratory? Oh, yeah. Yes, in terms of relief, because it would have been a lot worse. Okay? I love hearing the players come out immediately, though. Every single person involved, from Tudor to the players, said the right thing. And you have Di Gregorio, you have Gatti coming out like, this is not an achievement. Okay? Top 4, like, this is not an achievement. The aims always have to be way higher at Juventus. Spot on. I mean, we know this. That's why I was pissed off early in the season when they're talking about, our aim is top 4. No, bullshit. I don't care if that's realistic or whatever for your group, anything. That's not an aim. It's a bare minimum. So the guys around us now need to start setting that fucking standard. And that's why I had a problem with management. And I said, if things go sideways with Motta, I want all these guys, their heads to roll. Because it's bullshit. So I liked seeing the players all say the right things. Tudor, after this match, I did feel some concern still. It seems players have to die before they're coming off.
Yep.
It seems to be a common theme. Right? I mean, I thought Thuram and Yildiz were going to lose a leg. But, you don't want to take guys off. It's cool. I get letting them do it because you trust them and everything. But I was nervous when those guys were pulling up. When Thuram's making that run and he grabs his hammy and he's fucking hopping.
But there was a part of me that was like, this might just be shithousing. Let's be honest. I mean, because Thuram seemed like he was pretty good afterwards. Yildiz was still a little... Too, and you know what? Who cares? Good on them. Right?
Maybe. So. I don't know. But Yildiz, you guys want to talk about playing the clock? He fucking should have ran to the corner, and Yildiz is trying 100%. To beat 3 guys, take it into the... I'm like, go to the corner.
Right after that, you saw Thuram do the exact opposite.
And he did it. He took it down.
He went right to the corner. Exactly.
Yeah. That's
right.
What you do in that situation. 100%. And that's why Tudor went Mad Max and he took the jacket off. He lost the jacket too.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then I said to myself at one point when they were all just dropping like flies, I said, Dushan's now J Medical. That's all he was doing. He wasn't even touching the ball. He came in to stretch guys out. That's all he was doing.
Dushan made a great pass to absolutely nobody in the area there. That one was crazy. Yeah. Yildiz and him make a... Listen, I don't care how. Tactics, all this shit goes out the window in the final game of the season. You got through. It's 3-2. We look at the aftermath. All right. Man of the match, though, was officially this man, Manuel Locatelli. This was your ratings for that game. 6.8 to Di Gregorio, 6.5 Alberto, 6.6 Savona, 6.9 Kelly, 6.9 for Nico Gonzalez. A bit of a passenger in the first half for sure. Locatelli 7.6, Thuram a 7, Cambiasso 7.1. I thought his second half was rough and I thought he looked gassed for a lot of it because they played so north-south in the second half and he was just getting caught.
The second goal, he looked awful. The second goal, he was lost, right?
Yeah. Conceição, 7.7. Yildiz, 8.1. Kolomuani, 7.3. Guys, Loca gets it officially. Mas, did you have somebody else getting man of the match?
So I typically don't like giving man of the match to a goal scorer just because they got the goal. In this instance, just due to the weight of the situation and the way he buried it, Luca's got to be my man of the match. But I will give an honorable mention, and can we talk about this? Di Gregorio's save
Oh yeah,
at the
that's
end
a
of
good
that
one.
game
Yeah.
could be
Yeah,
the moment. Could be the moment of the season if that
he's
thing goes
got
in.
that was a rocket
Yep.
from close range.
Yeah,
Bang bang right in his face. Yeah.
that alone, that
DiGregorio's
that one save, I could potentially give a man of the match just because it was so important at that point of the game, the type of
yeah.
save it was. But
If it was not
overall, it's got to
Loca
be
for
Luca.
you, who would be your next man of the match? Let's
I'd
talk
give it to
outside.
Di Gregorio.
Di Gregorio. Okay, so you
Yep.
got Loca and you got Di Gre, and that was an
Yep.
obviously a huge save. So Sev, who's your official man of the match? And give me somebody outside of that.
Uh, I guess I gotta go with Loca, but a very close second for me was Yildiz.
Yeah.
Yildiz was just balling all game, back and forth. He was tracking back on defense. And him with Chico were just they started to gel a little bit. I noticed, especially in the first half, just playing off of each other. Like it was just so nice to see two wingers play so good together when they're both at their peak, you know. And that's what Yildiz was for me yesterday. But I'll give it to Loca.
Yeah, I had Loca for sure because that moment is everything. And could you imagine? Could you imagine if this guy has faced what he has already? Imagine he misses that PK.
Ugh.
Oh,
I
he
don't
would
even
have
want to
been
think
run
about
right
it.
out of Turin. I have no doubt in my mind by the fans. So it's crazy. His game by the numbers: 91 touches, 84% pass accuracy, 8 accurate long balls, 7 duels, 1, 3 clearances, 1 shot blocked, 1 shot on target, 1 goal. Don't forget, he almost scored an absolute beauty in open play. That thing just grazed the far post, Locatelli, as towards Tudor's towards the end here of the season with Tudor, we started looking for those trailing runs quite nicely. And Chico has been doing it a lot in the games as of late, where he stops and then he looks back and he's opening himself up to that trailing run, and these guys are stepping into those shots. Locatelli's done that on multiple occasions over the past 3 matches, and he's got a good shot and he's come close. I think I could think of like 4 opportunities that have not far off from ending up bulging the old onion bag. All right. So it's working out. It's working out. As far as Yildiz, he would have been my pick probably. Outside of that, his game by the numbers: 90 minutes, 69 touches, 86 accurate passes, 3 key passes, 3 accurate crosses, 1 accurate long ball, 1 successful dribble, 4 duels won, 2 shots on target, and 1 goal. It's hey, the guys we needed to stepped up. And Chico Conceição, man, I still want to keep this guy. I still want to.
Yep.
He can break a little game up. I know that he took so much flack for his game yesterday, and there were frustrations there too. But there was so much good as well when he's operating
Yep.
freely like that, and he's right to left, and he's creating havoc. And yeah, some crosses got blocked. Some were sent with a little too much weight, but that's what you get. If you think back to his season too, though, he had clutch moments. The winner against Inter that has us in this
Yeah.
spot to fight for 4. Clutch Champions League moments earlier in the season. The game against Leipzig there, like, it may not be a lot of them, but for a 21-year-old, he's got significant, important moments. And I think overall, towards the end here, with Tudor, we started to see him play more of a team game, which has been the biggest knock on him. But I saw a Chico that's a pretty good, strong asset. Now, if we don't go with him, I need to know what the alternatives are. But I'm still pro Chico. I'm pro Chico. You guys pro Chico or Chico out?
No, I'm pro. I'm pro. And just to piggyback off of what you said, I like, and I've always said this, I like, especially wingers, but I like guys that when we're going into a match, the opposing coach has to scout and worry about that player. And to me, Chico is that guy. Like, I feel like the coach of the other team has to say, all right, how are we going to handle this guy? And the same for Yildiz. And when you have guys like that on your squad, you do whatever you can to keep them. Now, would I like to lower that 30 million? I would like to, but if it's got to be 30, I'm good with it.
Yeah. And Mas, pro or out?
Yeah, I think Cammy V just said into the chat just now, for a team lacking creation, you don't get rid of creative guys. I think if it's ultimately going to be Conte coaching this team next year, I think all the young players on this team are going to get a bit of a rude awakening, and I think they're gonna turn into players. Honestly, he's a young guy. He's got talent. He's going to make mistakes. It's kind of part of the learning curve. He's not an all-world player. I mean, we can't expect Lamine Yamal type stats out of this guy, right?
No.
But
I
mean, the flip side to it is if he does go, his last action with Juve is, drawing that penalty. So
yeah, I like
that.
He seems fearless in terms of moments, anything, whatever. Like, he's still gonna be him. He's still gonna do what he can whenever he can to, like, push the team forward, urge the team forward, and go. Sometimes it's a bit too much, but you know what? Players like that, that's what happens. That's what happens. Yep. Players like that can happen. But there are some young talents that I'm excited about. Chico, I'd like to retain. Alberto Costa is very exciting young talent. Things are like Kenan Yildiz. He finishes up with a very, very solid first full season with Juventus. And there were matches he was benched where he shouldn't have been benched. And I still stand firm. And I guess we'll ask this question as a season of review. One regret, everybody. We all get one regret as a fan. What is that one regret for you? One thing you can go back, change. That one regret.
That's a tough.
What is it? And we're going to start this one with Mas on the panel.
For me, I mean, I would love to say just not hiring Motta altogether, but everybody was pretty much on the same page in the summer with that move. So hindsight's always 20/20. I think I've said this before, I think keeping Motta around as long as we did was a mistake. I mean, that cost us some pretty valuable points. We would have never been in the situation we were in yesterday playing for Champions League if we would have cut the ties earlier. We've seen what Tudor did when he came in. So that would be mine. Just getting rid of Motta sooner.
Getting rid of him sooner. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot, not even hiring him in the first place.
Well, that's preferred, but like I said, everybody wanted this guy in the summer. So I'm not going to go back and say, I mean, don't do it.
Yeah, but that is probably the regret. Bremer's injury coming in here. Sev, what's your one regret? You can go back, you can change.
Yeah. Between the chat and what Mas just said, it's tough to not say Motta, or at least getting rid of him in January, right? Is the Luis deal there? That's up there, I think, too, for me. I'm not ready to say that on Coop yet. I'm gonna give Coop another shot.
I don't think those deals make or break us, though, for the year overall. I mean, and I see the Juntali shouts there. For me, this thing was a shit show that Motta fucking made.
Yep.
Just endless stupid things over and over and over. There's a laundry list. I'll never forget that episode where Paulo came in here and he had missed a few episodes and he just rattled off like 20 things. He's like, because he was never sold on Motta and he just let fly. But he was right. Everything was spot on. It's like lack of rewards for performances. You play well, but you're on the bench. You had set of freaking I don't know, your captain's armband was a joint at a Snoop Dogg concert. You had, the list goes on and on. You had bad treatment of players. You had goodbyes and exits that you were doing. You shot your own team in the foot with depth. The guy was a joke. That's the biggest regret for me. 1,000%. 1,000% was Mota. And I said this halfway through the last set of matches that we had Tudor. If Tudor was there from the start of the year, we would have been in a better spot overall than wasting any of that time with Mota. But of course, at that moment in time, who would have went back that summer and been like, oh, I want Tudor? Nobody was really there at that, right? Speaking of Tudor, I've always loved this guy. And he just added to that for me. And I've spoken a lot about this when he first came on and when we got the details. Like, this guy's got zero guarantee, everybody. Nobody would have stepped in with zero guarantee. He stepped in knowing the situation, and he got us over that finish line, stepping into an absolute disaster. Because we just talked about what a disaster was. Our biggest regret, everything. That's a hell of a feat. His career, he might have just ignited it again. And just a big revival. Because if you're not out there looking for a coach and seriously thinking about this guy, I said it when he was with Lazio and he stepped in late into their season there. They went on a great tear and the guys parted ways. And I was like, what is Lazio doing? This guy's doing great. He finished off the season so strong for you. Fantastic record. Players responding. You guys have an identity. And they said, no, like, this guy needs to be taken seriously. For us, I don't know what's going to happen. The crossover's all over the place. But I will say this. Tudor is an absolute beauty. And I love the fucking guy. And not a lot of people, nobody would have probably done it for no guarantees like he did. So he deserves more respect than we can even give the guy. And that's all I want to say on Tudor. Your guys' thoughts, anything to add? And how do you think this goes? We're already hearing the cross-up about Club World Cup. You're hearing, oh, it's going to be decided very quick. And in Tudor's words, he says it needs to be decided very quick. Because in a couple weeks, they're going to be, heading out to the States for that Club World Cup. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see if he's there. It might not be him. Mas.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think for what he did and the situation he was coming into, he's definitely earned himself another job somewhere. I don't think he came in and revolutionized the whole team.
No.
Right? I think what he did was, we've always said it, he simplified things, but more importantly, he brought a sense of calm and sort of togetherness and harmony in the locker room. You saw a slow sort of build of confidence and sort of camaraderie with the team once Mota left. You didn't hear as much of those sort of in-locker rumblings about arguments and this and that. But because of that, I'm still a little iffy in terms of his tactical ability. That's kind of been a knock on him his entire career so far. There are better options out there. I'm assuming there's going to be outside of Conte, one would hope. I don't know. I'm on the fence in terms of bringing him back. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, just because he's proven that he can do it so far. But for a full season, I don't know. I don't know how it would play out.
Yeah, but huge props and huge respect for the man for what he has just done. Sev, thoughts on Tudor?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I mean, the only thing I could think of that's any different is a few years ago when we had the point deduction thing, and I wasn't a fan of Allegri 2.0, but how Allegri handled that stretch with the deduction and still kept us together, that was such a credible stretch for him. I think Tudor just topped it. With what he had to deal with coming in, all the mayhem that came with it. And I said this last week on the show. If it's not Conte, it's Tudor for me. That's it.
Yeah,
I don't have any issue with it.
I'm kind of there. that if it's not Conte, I am actually happy to keep going with Tudor. I know that there's question marks there. I mean, subs, you're always going to get into sub issues with any coach. You're always going to question certain decisions, certain calls, whatever. They make those calls and they stand by them. They see something and they decide they're going to do that. But when you look at his approach and everything, and it's like, yeah, he didn't revolutionize everything, but I think that was the 1000% best and right approach for this team. Simplify. Keep things simple. Just get back to the fundamentals and the basics and just ultimately get these guys somewhat comfortable and just try to calm things down. I'll never forget Juntali talking about it, where he was like, I expected Tudor to come in like a sergeant, and because he's got that aura about him where he's, firm, iron fist, whatever, but he's like, he came in and he brought peace, tranquility, was calm, and all the players responded. And I think that's exactly kind of like everything he's done has been the right approach. He got one match wrong. He got a couple matches where we probably would have wanted different results. Obviously, the Parma match was a disaster, but this team was a yo-yo all year. But this last stretch for him, the results, he got the results. Well, he got us over the line. And again, need a little bit of help to keep things in our hands, but the damage was already done. This was full-on damage control. I understand not having full faith in terms of like a whole season with this guy and everything, but I don't know if I'm really there. I don't really know if I'm there. Like he's got a reaction. He's got a positive reaction, and that celebration with the players says a lot too about him and how they responded to him. And seeing Locatelli with him too was fantastic. I mean, Locatelli was fucking watching this guy with us play for us, as he's a lifelong fan and everything. Tudor's he's a good coach. He's a good coach for sure, and he should be taken seriously. But
yeah, the other thing we got to keep in mind is this guy. Look at the back line this guy was using towards the end of the year. I mean, look at who he started yesterday.
Yeah.
Injuries have ravaged this team from the beginning of the season. I mean, it just got progressively worse once he came on board. So with a full squad, a healthy squad, and he's already said it, like this team, when it's healthy, could challenge anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but in terms of Italy, I mean, I've already said it. I don't think we have a roster that needs to be, totally shuffled. I think we're a couple
You
of
had an
pieces away
82-point
from
Scudetto winner. This season was there for the taking from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I just had to listen to Marco tell people that Inter, this is not a failure of a season if they don't end up with no trophies. Huh? Just go buy the kit already and put it on. It's a failure. All right. PSG, take care of business. It would be a failure for them. They had out and out the best squad. They had the most depth. It's an 82-point Scudetto winner. That's what pisses me off the most. You've got 21 some points that we pissed away from Leeds. We have nobody to look at. We have nobody to blame but ourselves. But it's time for us to take accountability, and at all fronts, not just as players, not just as coaching, but upper management. So Giorgione, the rumors today are that he is the one making the big push for Antonio Conte's return, and he is the one trying to lure Antonio. We're going to know within a matter of probably 24 to 36 hours what the hell's going down. If Conte comes in, it's going to be him for the Club World Cup. It makes zero sense, guys, to have somebody else run Club World Cup with another coach signed. It makes no sense. People are like, oh, Tudor's going to go Club World Cup. Well, hang on a sec. He won't.
These aren't summer friendlies. This is a legit tournament.
Exactly.
It'll be
more money and prestige is kind of on the line. So you can't
be the coach.
It's not a Mickey Mouse thing
that you sign. Hands down. When it comes to this whole thing, so Tudor has qualified for the extension. because Champions League was achieved. Okay? Now, what happens is we have to pay. It's just a little over $1 million, I think, or 2 mil for to part ways for a severance for Tudor. You know what? Thank you for doing it. Thank you for doing it when nobody else would, with no guarantees, and allowing us this. Take the 2 mil. Thank you. Okay? You know what? Douglas Luiz, it's coming out of your paycheck. So there you go. There you go. Now,
Zero goals,
or actually,
zero
you know
goals,
what?
0 assists. This guy.
Screw that. It's coming out of Milik's. That guy's in the friggin' Bermuda Triangle, man. It's coming out of Milik's pay. Between Milik and Luiz. There you go, Tudor. Okay, thank you.
How's he going to afford his ice cream?
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, in the gelato line there. Oh, Milik. Oh, Milik taking shots. Still got to take those shots. Listen, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk a little recap. We're going to get into Storm the Barn. As far as the news goes, everybody, buckle up. Meeting set with Jonathan David. Conte we're going to know with very soon. Silly season is full on upon us, and I can't wait. Okay? I can't wait. As far as Club World Cup goes, I did have to inform a bunch of you that some plans have changed for myself. It will no longer be DC, but I will definitely be in Philly. If you're going to be at Philly for that match, definitely stay tuned. We're going to put out some plans and everything that we got going on. Some serious AJC representation out there. We want to see all you out there. We want to meet you. We want to have some fun, and there's definitely going to be tailgating. And they are speeding up the membership for official fan clubs, and they're going to kick it off sooner. And the reason why is there are events planned at all those cities, and I'm telling you, you're going to want to be locked into a fan club because you're not going to want to miss them. They're doing some really, really cool stuff. There might be some events beforehand as kind of a kickoff that you're going to want to be a part of, okay? Just giving you guys a heads up. Join your local official fan clubs and support them because of all the work they do as well. All right, fantastic stuff. It hasn't been easy seasons for us. Could you imagine running official fan clubs throughout the tumultuous years that we have been through? Okay, so a lot of respect for them and what they do. Now, best of the season, Juventus edition. The Serie A awards went out there, but fuck those mutts. Let's talk about Juve. Best defender. Who you giving best defender to for this season? I'm going Bremer even with those 5 matches. Out and out just showed why he's the best. I'm kidding. I'm not actually because, obviously he is the best. And Bastoni, you can take the Serie A award for now until he gets here. But who do you give it to? We've got Gatti. We've got Kalulu. We've got Vega. Who takes best defender? So Vega obviously coming in at the halfway mark, but huge for us towards the end.
Nobody really stands out.
Tough. Kalulu is tough to not use only because you got to see him both as a center back as a fullback.
I don't know. So Kalulu's not a true center back, and it got ugly there for a while. It was pretty scrambly until Vega came in and solidified it because Kalulu had just dropped off, and that guy was driving me nuts as a center back for a while.
As a center back,
really getting lost positionally. I'd probably have to go Vega. Well, a lot of shouts for Gatti. Whew.
I'd probably go Gatti, to be honest. Even though I love Vega, you guys know that. There was a stretch where Gatti was pretty strong.
Yep.
I think there was a 3 or 4 game run where he was always in the box for some reason, just rushing up the field. I think it was early Tudor days. But no, both Gatti and Vega were very strong, but I'd have to give it to Gatti in terms of defender. But nobody really, like I said, nobody really stood out as an obvious choice on the back line. It was a pretty shaky season overall. Cambiasso could have been that guy. He started strong and then he kind of just fell off. So
he had a huge lull in the middle of the season. He's never really gotten back there either, which sucks because the start of the year that guy was just balling out. Sev, who you giving it to?
I'm gonna give it to Vega, but just to piggyback off of Mas, Gatti scares the hell out of me because he stands right in front of the keeper all the time.
Gatti's got some. He's got some
Yeah.
issues that pop up here every now and then. I think he's got PTSD from that landscaping foreman that would just yell at him sometimes on job sites, and sometimes he's like, "Holy shit, what's going on here?" And he's fucking getting lost on the pitch there, and it's like
He
war
knows-
vets when they go back and they hear fucking gunshots and stuff like that. That guy's hearing all sorts of shit rattle off, and
knows he's-
sometimes he gets
He
lost.
knows he knows he's a mistake away from going back to laying brick. That's his
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, maybe that's he's got those steel toes just in the same locker. I don't know. Nobody's really. It's hard at the back line. I'm going Vega just because I think if that move doesn't happen, I think we're in serious trouble down the second half of the season. So for me,
Yep.
that pretty much has to go to him just because I couldn't imagine him not coming in based on the minutes he chewed up and how he chewed those minutes up. When we get to the midfield, who gets your best of in the middle of the park?
I'm taking the fifth on this, guys. I can't
This
decide
is the
that.
this is the hardest one for sure between
That's-
Luca and
oof.
Thuram.
Taram right away from Yodio. Taram 100%.
But I will say
Thuram.
this, guys.
Loca,
Guys, I'll say
Loca, Kefren and Loca. We could share it, but I'm going to put everyone on there. Taram 100%. Taram, Loca, no wrong answer here. And I'm fair with that. I think obviously it's between the two, but you know, we gotta push the envelope here. You gotta take one, lads. There's no pleading the fifth here.
Well, to play, just to add to it, I think it's that hard of a decision because they play so well together.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. They know when to pivot. They know who's going to go up, who's going to go back. I'm going to go Loca. If I really have to do it, I'm going to go Loca.
Nice.
I'm going to have
Mas, the gun is to your head.
Yeah,
Good
the
luck,
only
brother.
the only reason I would lean towards Loca is because there was that bit of a spell when Tudor came on that Thuram kind of fell off a bit. He's kind of rounding into form again now. But Locatelli for me has been steady and solid from beginning to end all season. And just that game yesterday, I mean, it was like the cherry on the cake for me. So I would give it to Loca, I think.
Yeah. Through no fault of his own, Taram found himself not starting for a little stretch there. No fault of his own, but it comes into play because Loca's always there. Loca was the glue. Taram impacted certain games in a different manner, driving the ball forward, bagging some goals. That freedom comes from Loca.
Yep.
Locatelli has been steady and solid year out, and I think yesterday kind of notched it for me too because Taram I didn't think had a good game yesterday. I don't think he had a good game, not as far as his own personal abilities. He was only playing kind of one aspect of his game. And he struggled and he made some brutal giveaways, everybody, that gave Venezia opportunities against us.
He looked tired yesterday.
And Loca
See it.
picked up the slack and then some.
Yep.
I'm going Loca as the best midfielder with Taram right there. Okay? With Taram right there. Now, best attacker. It's the best attacker Juve this season.
It's got to be Yildiz.
I got it. Yeah.
Who else can you put in there, right?
Everybody else was so hit and miss.
Yeah.
So hit and miss. And Yildiz has the same knock to him that Taram did through no fault of his own, finding himself benched for games when he should have been in there. It's Yildiz hands down. Easily. Yeah. Easily.
Yeah, Chico has had moments, but not like Yildiz.
Yeah. Best coach of the season.
That's awesome.
Top
Are we going to do a worse version too at some point? That'd be great.
Yeah.
Best signing.
Worst coach of the season.
Best signing. Best signing.
Oh, that's too dumb for me.
Maybe you could give Thuram this one. We don't give him midfield. You give Thuram best signing.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for
Vega,
what we paid for him.
Vega and Kalulu are up there, but I have to go Thuram.
Kefren Thuram, easily best signing, I think. Yeah. 100%. 100% best signing. The biggest flop.
How much time do we have?
Yeah.
Biggest flop.
4-hour show.
Listen,
Luis.
Well, can we add Malta
go.
into this list too, or does it have to be a
Malta's
player?
got to be there.
No, Luis the biggest flop. Malta.
0 goals, 0 assists for Luis. How many minutes did he play? Yeah, it's a pretty strong argument. You got his girlfriend broke up with him. Tough life.
What a
Tough life for him
loser.
right now. Yeah,
This
tough life.
dude, it's a rough go for him. Oh yeah, don't forget he got his house broken into like first week in Turin. Yeah. Place gets broken into, girlfriend dumps you. You can't get minutes. If you can't stay fit and you haven't had an injury since like 2021, 22. Luis has been it's the biggest bust. That's the biggest bust this season.
Can we go honorable mention Coop Miners or no?
Yeah, I mean he'd be in the discussion, but he's nowhere near as big a flop. No. Like, what are we talking about? Cope Miners, and Cope Miners still has a worldie of a free kick in this season. Yeah. That thing was just a hummer.
It hasn't landed yet.
Smokes.
Coop has minutes and he's got some moments, right?
Yeah.
Luis has absolutely nothing.
Like, actually nothing. Legit nothing. Alicia Lehman's got more moments. Okay, so we leave it at that. That's probably the biggest flop. You know what was interesting coming out of this game too is at the start, I saw everybody, is this the worst backline we've ever seen at Juventus? And I was trying to think back and I'm like, I wonder if we've had one as bad. And the closest I could come in my memory was like one with there was Traore, Grigera, and was it
Ligrotalia,
Grigera. It was Grigera, Ligrotalia, Traore, and Barzagli. That was the closest I could come, but Barzagli saved it because he's fucking clean as shit. And Ligrotalia was all over the place, like sometimes good, sometimes junk. But Grigera was holy man, that guy was something else. But we've had some bad ones. There's been some bad ones. Melberg, I brought up Melberg there yesterday too. Holy. But that was something else, that backline yesterday. I tell you, fellas. I tell you. Now, let's get to some Storm the Barn. Let's have some fun. We got to get ready for Club World Cup and everything. I wonder if there'll be some questions there. Hypothetically, if Tudor does stick around for Club World Cup and wins it, do you snub Conte in favor of Tudor? I think the decision's going to be made before that even takes place. But let's say for hypothetical shits and gigs here, if Tudor wins Club World Cup, would you snub Conte for him?
That's a good question.
Is that the measurable? Is that what it would take for you to snub Conte? Is this entire panel for signing Conte?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a yes. Yeah. So we're all a yes. Okay. Yeah. So what would it take? Would it take winning the Club World Cup?
I don't know. What is that? 125 mil or something, right? Something like that?
It would be some nice chicoria.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
How do you get rid of the guy if he wins it? That's the problem.
Yeah. I was just going to say.
It's just an awful look.
He got you into Champions. He wins you that, and you're gonna snuff him.
The problem is if you snub Conte at that point, does he ever want to come back? Right?
That's another good point.
I just said Chicoria, and my phone played a song by a band called Spain, Chick Coria. And I was like, what is going on here right now? That was so weird.
That's so creepy.
And it's still playing.
I thought that was Conte texting you. saying, "Buddy, I'm
Just that's.
coming."
I thought the same thing. I thought you got some
Yeah,
alert, some
That was
Berto
yeah.
bomb
wild.
going.
I'm at the point now where I think it's just inevitable, and let's just get it going. Conte's back. Conte's back.
So before we go
You
on to the next STB,
can't snub him again.
I was listening to an Italian show. I can't remember which one it was this morning, and they had an interesting question. They were like, if you're Conte, realistically, solely from a sporting aspect, are you better off staying with Napoli or Juve in terms of the amount of money Napoli is going to bring in this offseason with Osimhen, the Kvara money that they brought in? I mean, what's the better spot for him? Obviously, his heart is with us, right? But
I'm gonna say this. What's the smarter play for him? It depends what you view as smart, because he's done a huge feat in what he did with Napoli there. Does it get better for that? Like, does it go back? If you have the opportunity, like for me, if I'm looking at this, what's better? You brought them a Scudetto after finishing 10th, even though we knew that wasn't a 10th place team. You know, it was a disaster. You still did that, which is your biggest feat. And now you get to go and you get to clean up, do some housekeeping where your biggest legacy lies overall. I think when he was coming around and they had the charity game and all that stuff was going on, I think he really realized what he needs to do. And it didn't surprise me that even in the build up to that, this guy still has a huge portion of the Juve fans on his side. And he still gets shown a lot of love. He has a spot in Turin. His wife has a boutique in there and whatnot. They go through this all the time. He wants this thing. He's wanted it before. The only reason it never happened before, this return, is because of us. This guy, what's better for him? You've got 5 Scudetti out of 6 seasons managing in Serie A. You're going to go with Napoli. You're going to try to run a project there. And what does that gain you any more of? Nothing. You clean up where your biggest legacy lies, where you reside, where your wife has a boutique in, and you can come back and be even hero again. But
Well,
the finances and everything of where Napoli sits right now, if they give you full power, is that better? I don't know.
ADL's not going to spend that money. He's going to pocket a lot of that money. I don't know.
I
say
think because of ADL, I don't think you'll get the same that you would out of Juve. Once the guys at Juve decide, you'll get better treatment than you will there. De Laurentiis will always end up being De Laurentiis. And Conte will always end up being Conte. You got oil and water, really.
Yeah, well, you brought up the charity game, Al, right? Like, that was like right after we just snubbed him. And he still like ran at the chance to come play at it.
It wasn't after, it was before. It was
before they snubbed him?
It was well before. Yeah. That was well before. But he is at the stadium. He was having dinner with the brass and everything. We all knew why. But all of that, apparently, what they're saying was after decision had already been made with Thiago Motta.
Right.
So I just don't think you can snub this guy again. I really don't think you can. But we'll see. We'll keep it rolling. Locatelli really earned his captaincy yesterday, the leadership, and I hope he stays for a long, long time. Think he could be a Juventino for the rest of his career, even as a squad player? I don't see why not. I mean, I think he would want that. I don't think Locatelli wants to go anywhere. The only way he goes is if we ship him off. Really. I don't think he wants to go anywhere. I got a question about Locatelli. Is he the most disrespected mid in Serie A?
Hell yeah.
Oh, that was a no-brainer. But even on the world stage, like, this guy doesn't get talked about at all.
When you look at his top 5 leagues and the numbers, playing
100%.
that respective role as a deep lying midfielder, he's grossly disrespected. In Serie A, 100% most disrespected.
And you never see him come up in transfer rumors or anything like that, which means teams just aren't looking at him.
Yeah, when I
Right.
went to my game yesterday, I talked to my buddy. He's a Milan fan. And a lot of consoling there. Holy shit, let me tell you. They're in shambles. But he said with Luca, he goes, I always loved Luca. He goes, we fucked up with him. And I go, I don't even know if you fucked up. He's like, we should have given time there. He's like, we should have given time there, but they pulled the shoot. He went to Sassuolo, right?
He's the only one we have that reminds me, not in skill, obviously, because he has a ways to go, but he reminds me of that Marchisio, Pirlo. Like, he just reminds me. He could have played there. He could have played in that era.
Yeah.
He's a kind of a kick to the old school, and I think it's because of the fandom there. I don't know. I think it's the disrespect is crazy. When I'm hearing people not even mention him in like top 5 Italian midfielders right now, and I'm like, right now? What? You guys are mental. Yeah, go take Brian Cristante to another major tournament. Let me know how that plays out. Now, Alberto Costa could potentially become our Kvara signing and become world-class under Conte. So this was a cool question that we had yesterday, and it was like, let's say Conte comes in. Who do you think thrives the most? So the reason that Alberto Costa came up is because Conte and his wingbacks, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge part of his game, and they just elevate. So what is Costa your pick, or is somebody else a player that you think will thrive under Conte? Who would your pick be?
I think for me it would be Cambiaso.
Yep.
For sure.
Cambiaso.
You stole it,
100%.
Mas.
Oh, yeah.
That was my pick. Yep.
We're
not going to say.
This was probably one of mine as Gatti. I actually think Gatti will be an absolute beast. You know who came up? Some were saying he would thrive, and that's Fagioli. And I said I actually think it'd be the opposite because he's so mentally fragile. But I don't like the media saying that, and Fiorentina moved. But now Fiorentina has made European play. That deal is done. Fagioli will not be returning to Juventus. So there you go. He's gone. But I thought he would break under Conte when up. So Cambiaso, hey? Cambiaso the pick.
Well, you can't say you would go to say Yildiz will get even better, but he's already fucking awesome. Like, how much better? I mean, he still has a lot to learn, but I got to go Cambiaso as a wingback.
I tell you what would be interesting with the way Conte, if he does come in, if he plays 3-5-2, which is his main brand, the way he uses the forwards, I'd be really interested to see Yildiz play off of actual big target man and utilize that with the fullbacks bombing, the wingbacks bombing. It'd be very interesting to see. Conte's had some guys that aren't the best cooking in that spot, in that role. With a guy like Yildiz, I'd be very curious to see what he can do to elevate him even further.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think Conte would ever finally play Yildiz as a 10 that we wanted Mota to do all year?
Well, that's essentially how you're playing as a second off that big target man. That's why I say, like, I'd be very curious to see how that goes down. With the Champions League and Club World Cup money and the imminent sales of certain players, what will be Juve's estimated transfer budget? Oh, we don't have an exact figure or number. I'm waiting for that year-end thing. If it's in the plus, even if we're like close to break even after taxes on the season, we are laughing, everybody. But we're in good shape now. Qualifying for Champions League, getting that Club World Cup money, we're sitting pretty. We've got some sales that can be made. We are no longer, thank God, no longer in a situation where we have to sell. Okay? We can make decisions we want to with no outside influence or pressure from circumstances. Embrace that, everybody. It's been ugly to get to this point, okay? But we're here. As far as estimated value, we're hearing around 150 to 175. But I think that's a little on the high side. I'd probably go a little less than 150. And it's still going to depend on some sales too. I mean, you don't just splash everything you have. That's not good business, right? So we'll see. Who gets the end of the season day? Oh, who gets the end of the season day?
Mota for me.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten a lot of them throughout this year. What's another one? Just put that one in the piggy bank.
Guy's going to be getting it for the next 5 years.
Guy's going to wake up from dead sleep with the day just freaking ringing there. We started calling him Thiago Mote or friggin' and Thiago. All the names. Kelly's getting him. Louise. Internal fire. How about Serie A officials? Can we give them a day? Like, it's just dog shit 1 year after another, man. It's just dog shit out there. Holy crap, man. It's crazy. Most underappreciated player for Juve this year. Who's the most underappreciated? Most underappreciated.
Well,
I'm going to throw one out there that not necessarily for the... It might still be him. I don't know if he's gotten the flowers ever, really. Locatelli's definitely one of them. Yeah, but people have finally apparently opened their eyes. Okay? But I have two that come to mind immediately. And I know that the frustrations in the final third can be so fucking annoying, but Nico Gonzalez for me is a little underappreciated. Because he fucking puts in double effort sometimes, most times, than some of the other guys out there. And he's willing to do whatever dirty work. He doesn't care. He was sacrificed in the first half of yesterday's game. He didn't give a shit. It's whatever. I need you as a wingback. I need you as an advanced player here. I need you on the left side today. He doesn't care. Doesn't give a shit. And it's still the same from him consistently. He's kind of in there. The other one, McKennie. Those are my two that come to mind immediately. McKennie still doesn't get credit for being thrown out everywhere.
Yeah.
Those are the two.
Both those guys are very similar, too, in that there's maximum effort, but limited in terms of offensive output. So, yeah. I don't know. For me,
a good shout, too. Deger's a good shout too.
That's where I would go. There was a point in the season, I think it was the winter transfer market, where I think we got linked to De Gea or something, and that was BS. I mean, that was never fact. But just the fact that was out there and that we would even be contemplating switching keepers made absolutely no sense to me. The guy pulled out some crazy, crazy saves this year, and he's been solid all along with a lot of games limited work. I mean, and yesterday that save blew me away. I mean,
yeah,
that was our
he's
season
made some
on the line.
big saves all throughout the year. Di Gregorio is probably a pretty good shout, because there's still a lot of people that, I don't know, throughout the year they were not feeling it and saying they didn't have confidence in him and whatnot. That's probably a good show, a good show. I gotta storm the barn. Give me 5 players to sell. 5 players you'd sell this summer. Give me your list, chat. I want the 5 names to sell.
So
that we want sold or that we think will be sold?
No, just give me 5 players you, in charge of Juve, would sell.
Well, obviously, you want to go first, Mas?
Yeah, well, we got some of the easy ones, like, you know, I don't really want to hear, like, outside of, like, Vlahovic, outside of Luis, like, shit like that. Let's take
Well,
those two off the.
why are we selling them? That's the point. That's the problem. Just for shits and giggles, just to sell.
So
some
here we
players?
got outside of Luis and Vlahovic. So we got Kelly, Milik, Cambiaso. Huh.
I wouldn't sell Cambiaso.
Milik's on the list for me. We got some shouts for Savona. Huh. Gatti if he brings
Cambiaso-
good money. Kelly, Mbangula. So some
I was
shouts
all
for
for-
Mbangula.
I was all for selling Cambiaso when we were going to get.
I got
60
one
million.
nobody's calling, but I'd sell Timothy Weah. I would
Oh,
sell
he was
Weah.
on my list.
I think he's
He
going to
was
have
first for me.
decent value. He'll have decent interest. But god damn it, right after bringing his boy Jonathan David, if he lands him. Hey, Tim, thanks. You're out. That'd be kind of cold. But I have Weah on the list because I'd keep McKennie before Weah because McKennie I just see more useful. So
sure, yeah.
I think one of those two guys, the time's come to make a move there on one of those two players. I think outside of that, for me, it's in the details. Because Savona, I want to keep. However, what's the offer? Then all of a sudden I'd think about it, right? So I think Juve has a lot of players that it depends what the offer is. Like, I don't want to sell Savona or Gatti, but is somebody maybe overextending? A guy like Savona carries a ton of capital. So does Gatti, to be honest, you guys. So I think about it. I want to see both stay with us. And the same holds true for Cambiaso. Ton of capital. What's the deal, though? What's the offer? What does this mean for our team? Who do we get to cover? We don't have to sell anymore. So now it's all about team building. And that's why it changes. But Weah for me would be a player I probably look to move. Mbangula, I might sell him. I'd rather not. I think there's a talented player in there. I think it's a shame we didn't see more minutes of him throughout the season because he looked lively all the time and he made stuff happen, especially the first half of the season. But again, if there's a good deal out there for Mbangula, might open up to it and not involving him in a deal for Ndoye, who's worth 40 million euros. Like, not that kind of garbage. Let's not do that. Okay.
You know what it is? It's a tough question because lately, especially the last few years, I feel like we're getting hosed every time we sell somebody.
Well, that's why, because we lacked leverage. Again, talking about the circumstance, like Juve's like, hey, let's take what we can get. Let's keep the wheels in motion type thing. We don't have to do that anymore. We have freedom now. And without leverage, it's very difficult because you guys got to remember, it's Juve at the end of the day. People want to buy our players on the cheap and they want to sell us theirs for fucking twice their value.
Yep.
Welcome to Juve, right? So let's see. But it's kind of difficult when you start looking at players to sell.
Rovella and Huijsen, right there.
Oh, yeah. But again, situations, right? Like they just bid in so fast and it's like, what? Who will come up from youth next season? And will we keep Mbangula? Please do not sell. Maybe loan out. I'm open to a loan for Mbangula. I would not like to... Oh, yeah. Hans Nicolucci Caviglia, Luca brings up. We sold him for like a clean 5 million plus a loan. Wow. And Luca, yeah. Is that poster still up in your room? I think Luca's a big Hans guy. Take it easy. Who will come up from youth next season? Not to be mistaken for a big hands guy. Okay? Doesn't like his women with big hands. Okay? That's not what I meant when referring to Luca. Okay? Take it easy. Love you, Luca. We don't get you in here enough.
Man hands.
Who will come up from youth next season? Will we keep Mbangula? Do you guys think we keep Mbangula?
I wouldn't sell him, but I'd loan him out.
I actually have a feeling we are going to sell him.
Well, what are we getting back? Like 15 mil?
Yeah, that's the question.
I think it's going to be around 15 mil. But I think he's going to be sold.
But you said it.
Well,
I don't want him part of a deal. I don't want to. Oh, take 20 mil off of this guy. Just to
Yeah, I don't
load
want
up.
it to go
I hate
towards a
that.
big thing. I mean, I just have a feeling he's going to be sold. A loan would be probably the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Who's going to come up from the youth? I don't know if anybody really is going to come up. Gil Poosh, maybe? I doubt it. Maybe him though.
If everybody's healthy, there's not going to be room.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if anybody's really going to come up next season. We have to wait and see. Bald Gatti under Conte. Serie A ain't ready for it. Oh, yeah. Gatti got a cut there, and it looked like a lawnmower with an uneven blade had just run over the top of his head there.
Jay
Jeez.
Barber strikes again.
Jeez.
Jay Barber.
Oh, my God. Yeah, we had
people dirty all year
Yildiz
long.
running around there like Don Mattingly, and Gatti looks like they got to... I know that times were tough building up here and we had to save some money, but Jesus, it's time to start putting some money into these guys' cuts here all of a sudden. Jeez.
Man.
Will Conceição and Muani play for Juve in the Club World Cup? Which clubs are going to bid for Dusan? Oh, good luck as to who's going to bid for Dusan. A lot of interest, I guess, in England, and that's just because we've priced him at 40 mil. They like that price. Like, if you're looking at the guys around there, and there's still a lot of belief in, this player, and there's a lot of pundits in Italy that still believe in this guy. I just said it. The team and the player got to break free, right? But Conceição and Muani will play for Juve. The latest rumors are that Chico Conceição will play for Juve in the Club World Cup. On Kolo Muani, it's unknown. But the latest rumors are that Chico is going to stay for the Club World Cup. We got to wait.
PSG in the Club World Cup?
Who?
PSG, are they in the Club World Cup?
Yes.
All right, so then they probably have to allow it, right? For us to...
I don't know what's part of the deal because some of these loans were to return. Like Vega is to return to Chelsea and not stay with us for the Club World Cup. So it depends on the terms there. Kolo Muani has had a ton of uncertainty around that move. Remember how he came to us and they didn't even have the paperwork ready? They had too many players out on friggin' loan, and then just the whole thing's been a shit show. Kolo Muani, does anybody change their mind? Did that goal change their mind? I'm still a no for signing him. Are we still a majority no? Should I run a poll question here? Because a lot of people are telling me in the comments to our videos that we need to keep him. I'm just going to put it in here and we'll see.
He's just a frustrating player to watch because there's so much more there. It's just, I don't know. He doesn't score enough. But then
I don't even know if it's
yesterday.
about the scoring for me. It's just the fading in and out of games.
Yeah, he ghosts a lot.
Like, it's just... and backing out of the physicality more often than not. The poll question's up there. Okay. We got Berto's poll out there. Take it easy. I know Peter Balistreri's in there. Says, give us your poll. Take it easy, buddy. Jesus, these lads down under. Okay. These lads down under. Guys, fire up the poll there. Guys see it? There's no stats going to it, so I don't know if it worked, but that's okay. I'm a no. I am a no.
Yeah, I'm still a no on that.
Yeah. There we go.
There's too many options. We have a lot of options.
It started updating. We got the poll coming in here now. 71% yes. So we are in the minority.
Wow.
In the minority.
Wow. 70 yes. That's interesting.
72% now. Yeah, so 70 to 72% yes. Keep Kolo Muani.
I mean, as your main guy, I can't believe that's what they're thinking. Depth piece for sure, but I wouldn't want him leading my line.
And see, a lot of comments have been made in that regard just because of his versatility to play out on the wing as well. But it's like we haven't seen him as a winger outside of 3 matches with Thiago Motta. It was, I don't know. I've got low confidence. That could be a devil's in the details there. And if we're hearing the numbers we're hearing,
Yeah,
I
what
ain't
does
there,
PSG
but
want?
70%.
What does
Wow.
PSG want for him? 70 million? 60 million? How much is it?
It was something stupid between 50
Yeah,
and 60, like I think is in that range.
no way.
Jeez, I'm a no. Like I'm a no, but hey, to each their own. To each their own. DJ Cammy V, does Luca have the best turnaround in terms of performance and fan reception in Juve history? Ooh, who turned the fans? I don't know if anyone's done it like that. Trying to think here. I honestly, nobody's coming to mind for me right now. Some of the older heads in here that have better memories than me have to come in, but I can't think of
Yeah, I
anybody
don't.
that's done the turnaround like that.
That's a
And I
tough
mean,
one.
we
I can't.
still have to see this turnaround because he'll probably misplace a pass in the first Club World Cup game, and everybody will be like, "This guy sucks," and it's over. So
One that pops into me is Bonucci's first year was absolutely dreadful, and he took a
Bonucci,
lot of heat that first
yeah,
season. But in terms of prolonged sort of taking heat, Luca, yeah, he's up there for sure.
yeah. So Bonucci probably for Barzagli. Barzagli never got heat though.
No,
Barzagli never
No, he
got
was
heat. It
always
was just
loved.
like this steady rise for
yeah,
him with the fans. Like so, because I see Barzagli in there. Bonucci's probably a decent show. It's pretty close, and it's a little bit different because yeah, it was like a steady growth thing and whatnot. Danilo is a decent one, although a lot of the fans still never turn around. His first season was terrible for Juve. Terrible first season. And he turned it around into one where we were like, okay, this guy's literally our only captain at the moment in time. So, yeah, man. Rank your top 10 Juve players. I'm just kind of spot. We have so many Storm the Barns, you guys. Holy smokes. Let's try and machine gun some of these. Rank your 10 Juve players this season. We're going to try and
Jeez.
get through some of these.
Well, obviously Yildiz, Loca, Thuram, Vega, Kalulu.
Okay, number one. Number one. Let's go 1 to 10. So 1,
Oh, 1 to 10. Okay.
I guess who would be the MVP type thing, and we'll just
Yeah.
go from there. Loca and Thuram, I always said were in the mix there because they were the two most consistent
Yeah.
and the best. We'll go Loca, Thuram. We're going to go Yildiz, probably third. Best
Yeah.
attacking player. Or Di Gregorio should be at least in the top 5 for sure for
Yeah,
players.
I would have put him right after Yildiz.
Yeah. Outside of that, Gatti's easily got to be in your.
Gotti's got to
Gatti's
be
easily got
there.
to be in there
First
one of
half,
the best.
Cambiasso.
for this season. You're still gonna throw Cambiasso in there 6.
First
6.
half was fire.
Kalulu 7
Kalulu's up there.
because he still played a big part, and we're gonna pick him up. We're gonna confirm that deal. It's a steal.
Vega. Vega, right?
Man, might have to stop at 8. Savona getting some shouts.
No,
Savona?
Vega.
Vega,
Nico.
and that's it. That's your
9,
10. What about Wes? Wes got to be
Oh
in
shit,
there.
we totally forgot about Wes.
Oh, yeah, we're not giving him love.
See, he is so underappreciated. Going back
Yeah.
to that earlier.
Wes
Wes
just
got to
for
be
take-
in there, and I would
just
probably.
for taking Fratese's sister.
Yeah, we
for
got
that
to put
alone.
Wes in there. We got to
He's
put
probably
Wes
around
in
6. He's probably around 7, 8. Wes.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
There. Let's try and machine gun some more of these. Chris is a big Skanga fan. Skanga transcended to a 4th dimension. No, he's just super old, and he keeps going to the park to feed the birds, and he keeps getting arrested because he can't remember to put his damn pants on. I told you guys this. Be around. He'll be around. We'll try and do a year end to get everybody around. Life hits hard sometimes, and sometimes we can't all make it around here. Let's see. Sucks it has to be Inter. Any other Italian team, I wouldn't care because a Champions League win would give the instant cred and the Italian league cred and more TV money. Yeah, no, Inter does not qualify for me giving any fucks. Whether it's Italian team or not. I just can't. Latest Kevin De Bruyne updates. Juan Jesus has posted that they are waiting for him in Napoli. No shit. So there's been nothing. Juve again seems to be a day late, a buck short on that. So
yeah, I saw a Liverpool link this morning. Liverpool is just going all in on everybody this summer.
Liverpool link to De Bruyne?
Yeah.
Conte back at Juve. Allegri at Napoli. Limone at Merda. Next season is going to be a wild one. We're only missing Sarri at Milan. Oh my God. Milan's got a decision to be made. It's going to be interesting to see there, but Serie A could be a wild one. I made this joke in the green room yesterday with Lex and Trim after our show because we just laugh at the way the Italian league seems to be and the coaches. It's the same characters, even especially mid-table sides, like teams 10 to 20. It's just like this carousel. It's just like a fucking high school dating pool where it's the same group of people and they're just fucking mixing and matching. That's Serie A coaching in a nutshell. Yeah. You get very little from the outside breaking in. It's just the same cast and just mixing it around. So we'll see. But the storylines with the coaching, it could be an interesting one next year. Allegri at Napoli. Huh.
That still shocks me, man.
Weird to think about. I would
have thought him at Milan. I wouldn't think he would go and be with ADL.
Yeah. Trim, will the Army get a year-end show with the entire cast? We're going to try to do a year-end show, yes, where we can get not all at the same time, but have drop-ins and try to get as many as possible. We'll see. What's your go-to tailgate food for the game? Game is 12 p.m. in Philly. What's your go-to tailgate food? Sev, the go-to.
Because it's me and Justin there, are we doing Taco Bell?
No chance.
Jesus.
No chance. That's
I want to make it to the game.
I was gonna say there's not enough bathrooms in the stadium.
Straight red.
Nope.
Straight red. Straight red. Mas, go to tailgate food.
Do a nice veal parm sandwich, maybe. Little peppers on there.
I mean, we're in Philly. Philly cheesesteak? Like, what are we talking about here? Philly cheesesteak. I do like tailgate food, man. A nice panini, man. Nice panini. Prosciutto, mortadella. Get a nice sliced cheese there, whether it's Vardy's fantastic. Provolone, like, let's go. A nice panini, couple panini, some pizza. What are we talking about here? Let's go. Taco Bell? Sep. You're crazy, man. Jesus.
That's a one podcast ban, buddy. You're not coming on for one podcast.
That's a straight red. But yeah, the Philly cheesesteak. We got
only because it was Justin asking. That's why.
Will Conte play back 4 or back 3 next season? I would expect him to go to what his bread and butter is. Hey, I think we're all on the same page there. If he comes, we're going 3-5-2. Right?
He did play 4 in the back this year with Napoli, though. He did show.
He had to because he couldn't.
He had to.
Yeah. But I don't think he prefers it or likes it.
No, it's not his go-to for sure.
And we have the guys to facilitate 3-5-2. Yeah. So I think that's the way he's going to go. Who ghosted the most this season? Milik. He is a ghost.
Yes. Literally.
Tuna. We got a ghost on the roster. His name is Milik. It has to be him. Oh, man. Okay. This is the stipulation. Would you take Conte, but you have to take Lukaku? Or it's keep Tudor. So you got to take Lukaku with Conte or you keep Tudor?
Listen, Lukaku's not a horrible depth piece. If I'm starting him, then that's maybe a problem. But we're going to need a pretty deep bench with all the games we're going to be playing next season.
Oh my God. You know what the shit thing is that we'll be the team that get stuck with Lukaku. It'll be a whatever
It's
contract,
not going to
and
work.
then Conte does his Conte thing. We win the Scudetto,
Yeah.
whatever. He's here 2 years, and it's like, okay, guys, thanks. By the way, you're stuck with Lukaku for another couple of years, and it's like, fanculo. I would still take Conte.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it.
After what I witnessed with our striker situation, yeah, I'm fine with that. Just bring me
What
an
about-
elite coach because it's time to get serious in that position. I'm cool with it.
Listen, Lukaku's numbers this year are not bad.
Double-digit
at
goals and assists.
He had a
Assist
really good
leader
season.
in Serie A.
But guys, let's not forget Lukaku, J Medical, too close together.
Well, he didn't
Somebody
miss
just
much
wrote it in the chat.
this season at all. So, J Medical is its own fucking unit that just needs to burn down. So if you're ever in Turin there, anybody, and, you can light that place on fire and just burn it down would be greatly appreciated because J Med is a disaster. You guys, the job's done. Wasn't pretty, but who gives a shit? We're in Champions League. We get set now to see what decisions the club is going to make. Where do you stand right now, your feelings? Because everybody, the comments in the post-match vid that I put, the YouTube short, was just straight up, I'm so glad this season's over. Close this season out. See you later. I'm actually excited. I'm very excited. I know this season was a drag. Believe me, I know. Trust me, everybody. I know. But I'm actually super excited. Super excited because it feels like they actually might have realized the gaps all around the club. Do you get that sense? Like, where do you stand now that the season is over? We'll start with Mas, then go to Seth.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at every aspect of the club, I mean, outside of J Medical, which we just spoke about, we're trending in the right direction. Finances are pretty much secure at this point. We don't have to gut the team in the summer. Whether it be Conte or Tudor, I think we'll be in a good spot in terms of a manager next season. And we have a young roster that just needs some pieces to be a pretty solid team. So I think definitely more positive than it was going into the offseason last year. Yeah, it's looking up. It could be a lot worse. I mean, there's some teams you mentioned Milan, like they're in shambles right now.
Yeah.
So, no, it's positive for me.
There you go. Sev?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm obviously we wanted better. We wanted more. They put us through the gauntlet a lot. But I'm very optimistic. Especially with Conte, but even with Tudor, I'd be optimistic.
Yeah.
The money is huge for me. The fact that we're finally balancing all that and we don't have this cloud over us about getting players, or I just want a nice free Mercado season. We don't have to worry about this or that. And like I said, I'm very, very optimistic about it. I think we're going in the right place.
Yeah.
Yep.
You look at the Milan situation, it's an absolute disaster.
It could be worse, yeah.
That situation is something that I spoke heavily about earlier this year when the red flags came up around Thiago Motta. I said, if Motta goes, I need a wholesale change because I don't want to see management that's happy with the status quo, that just wants to see the revenue flow maintain the same, but we don't make any actual pushes towards ambitions. We don't keep our values, our culture, we don't respect our fans because of the history of this side to chase trophies, to chase glory, to always be the best in all facets. That would piss me off. That's how Milan's ownership was talking at some point this season. And it was crazy. And it was an eye-opener and it was scary. Because when everything starts to be done solely on the numbers, that's where I get concerned. For now, I could understand it because we were crawling out of deficit. But now that's gone. So now I need to see us make that push to respect our tradition, to respect our history and our values. So let's see. This fact that we're hearing about changes wholesale, Chiellini, potentially a new president, maybe.
Love that.
The fact that we're hearing that there is going to be a coaching change. The fact that the numbers are good and they want to chase important players and continue to build this side. I love it. Okay. The fact that we've got the extra money from the Club World Cup. This is all bonus. It's trending in the right direction. Okay. So nothing to celebrate. But again, it could be a hell of a lot worse. It isn't. So it's okay to be happy about that. Not happy with the season as a whole, obviously. For Conte, you see, Mark, I need an official confirmation from Juventus on who the coach for the Club World Cup and next season. It has to be the same coach. We will find out. Like I said, for me, we're going to know very quickly. 24 to 36 hours, I'd be shocked if we don't have confirmation on what's going down. Tudor even said it in his words. For Giuntoli, though, Monblano came out yesterday, and that's the second I knew that Giuntoli's going to stay on for another year, because Monblano came out and said Giuntoli is going to be done right away and he's going to be gone, packing his bags. I think we're going to have Giuntoli for another season, and to be honest, I'm okay with it. Giuntoli, there were errors there for sure, but with a completely absent upper management, yeah, let's sort that first. One more season, because there are still some top-notch signings that Giuntoli made. And again, the financial aspect being cleaned up and now operating without that cloud, let's just see. Let's see who this next coach is going to be, everybody. But you know we'll be here every step of the way. The season ends, but nothing ends at the AJC. You got your daily news updates. We'll do news live recaps on weekends and have some fun, okay? And talk Juve just like we do every other season, okay? As far as a Storm the Barn watch along for the Champions League, I don't know if I'm going to run a hate watch along for that match. I might do it. But I said on one caveat, if it starts to look like they're going to win it, I'm shutting it down immediately and I'm bouncing, okay? Because I'm not staying around for that. So that's my one caveat. So stay tuned. There might be a hate watch along, all right?
Yeah,
Seth, Moss, you guys are awesome. Was a lot of fun, as always. Absolute pleasure. And hope you guys can be part of a year-end fun wrap-up that we're going to do. All right?
Definitely.
Everybody,
Definitely.
Club World Cup. Start staying tuned if you're going to be there, especially in Philadelphia, where we are going to be. All right. I know myself, Sev will be there. We got Lewis there. We got Trim there. And we got a lot of Army members that are going to be there. We're going to have some fun. And Mas is going to be there. We're going to have a lot of fun. So stay tuned. As always, no matter what, the haters wanted us out of Champions League. But you can't keep us out, baby. Locatelli, you're a fucking beauty. And I love you, all right? Our Capitano with the clutch moment. As always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus, ciao tutti. And for the haters, let's go, baby.